I want to start with Paul. In this current job market, in this age and era, what is your recommendation for that executive search?
It's all about your connectivity. You know, the way you're going to identify or obtain that next opportunity is through your relationships. And so what I find is a lot of people let go of their relationships and focus their energies on their job. And my view is, in this day and age, you have to have one eye on your job and one eye on the market. And be receptive to considering opportunities. It doesn't mean you have to take them. But what I found at the executive level and leadership positions, that there's more and more opportunities being created because someone has something great to offer, and an organization says, wow, I need that person in my business, or I need to create a business in a new area. And so I think being out there is really important.
And I'd like to ask Chen Wong with LoRa Systems, in the IT field, what is that entrepreneurial spirit we all hear about and read about and see about? What makes the drive so strong for entrepreneurs in that field?
Yeah, I think people that are drawn to IT are generally drawn to the future. They're drawn to changing things. They want to improve things. That sort of technology is an enabler to make things cheaper, better, faster, improve connectivity, to interact better with people. And I think that the people that are drawn to that industry have, maybe they have a self-selecting kind of personality type. They tend to be younger, you know, high school and college and grad students, that sort of, there's a lot of innovation in those kind of institutions and pockets. And maybe also because of the age demographic, a lot of them, they have more energy and excitement. You know, if you go to DC Tech Cocktail or some of the meetups, these 2,000 20-somethings just in a room, it's incredible when you see that. It's really out of this world. And it's exciting. And by the way, DC and Northern Virginia and suburban Maryland is really a phenomenal place for the technology industry and for startups right now. I'm involved in some early stage organizations like the CIT out here in Virginia and Startup Maryland, and this area is maybe not Silicon Valley, but we are one of the top 3 or 4 or 5 pockets in the country that's stimulating this new job growth and excitement.
We have some questions out in the audience. Who's our first?
When you had to lay people off, so I've just recently had to do that. How do you know, for me, my employees are like my family, and how do you kind of get a calloused heart? I don't know what the answer is, but how do you deal with it personally?
That was tough. We value our people highly, but you really, if you're going to run a business, I heard at the moment, prune and grow, we actually classify our people as A's, B's, and C's. A's, you're not going to let go no matter what. B's have the potential to become an A, and so you nurture them and you try and let them grow in their own way and celebrate their strengths and don't try and force them to overcome their weaknesses. Then we have the C's. The C's are good workers, but you know, if you really need to let people go, it would be the C's first. We ended up in a situation where we had to look at A's and B's and C's, and that was the toughest part. So everyone knew, because suddenly 3 teams in the office had no work, and so everyone was walking around with their chins dragging on the floor. And so we decided to try and do it quickly, humanely, and do it all at once. So that, you know, I think probably the worst thing that you could do is do it one at a time, because the morale in the place just plummets. So we went through our list, and that was the toughest part. But even tougher was actually sitting down with them one by one. And so we did it. I literally had a chain of conference rooms set up, so I would sit down with the people individually, and our CFO was in the conference room right next door, and our human resources director in the room after that. And so we tried to help in every which way we could to help them over that tough period. I'll tell you, we still get emails today from people that we let go 3.5 years ago, saying they still really appreciate it and they still consider themselves to be a member of the family. I don't know what to tell you in terms of how you do it. If you really are involved with your people and you really care about them, you just have to bite the bullet and do it. If you do it right, I think the people can walk out of there with their heads high, and they'll still be your friends. And I'm happy to say we managed to do that.
Thanks, Doug. We have a question from the gentleman here.
How do you get your people emotionally connected and emotionally invested in your companies?
I just spoke, but I'll take a whack at that because I think we're, in one respect, very fortunate there. Maybe architects don't get paid quite as well as some of the other professions, but I'll tell you the job satisfaction that we get is awesome. And so we don't lack from the creative desire, the initiative to solve a problem for somebody. And we do that by finding out what their needs are, finding out what the program is, and then creating a concept which ultimately gets fleshed out through the various stages, through schematic design, design development, contract documents, and then you get to build it. And so we don't lack the desire to be motivated because we involve all of the teams with the client that they are serving. Our problem is more the other way. You've got to keep it under control a little bit because otherwise, everybody has a budget, everybody has a schedule, and so we've got to do something which is practical, well-designed, and responsive to the client's needs, and we got lots of enthusiasm that way. I think maybe our profession is just a tad different. I'll let other people respond.
All right. Okay, I have time for one more, if we have any others. I'd like to ask Rodney, STEM education, the value of that brings for the future of our next workforce.
But people who come to work for Dominion Virginia Power are often, they're career people. They come there, like myself, I started 3 days after college, and they're career folks. And we started hiring again about 2006, and there was a lot of conversation about this generation not being willing to work hard. And I can tell you that's not true. I agree with the comment down there about if you get around a group of 20-somethings, whether it be in the technology field, I'll tell you, including the people that work in the field today, they are extraordinary. If anything, they just grow up a little later than we do. We hire a lot of veterans. We find that after folks have served their country well, they understand what public service is all about, and they're a great fit for us. We have raised our children well, is what I would tell you, and they're going to advance our companies, both on the technology side and the energy side, to new heights. I'm very excited about the future.
Great, Rodney, thank you. I'd like to thank all of our panelists today. You did a wonderful job.